Welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you guys doing so. I hope you learned something here. Got a replay analysis for you with Thylacoleo. He's running in his Pudel. Tier 6, Polish. Wait a minute. Polish, what? Well, this is a Tier 6 Polish Panther. Well, how did the Poles get Panthers? Well, they stole them. That's how. During the Warsaw Uprising, apparently several Panthers were taken from the German army and used against them, and this happens to be one of them right here, the Pudel. So it's a historical configuration Panther sitting at Tier 6. It's got the little kind of stock gun going on, and the rest of it is more or less Panther standard. You can see that the machine gun's been pulled off and it is currently gunning down bad guys in Warsaw. Read more about that, actually. It's very fascinating on the Uprising. Did not go well in the end, but they sure did give it a shot. All right, as far as Thylacoleo goes, we're in a 5-10, so he is bottom tier, but he's only one tier down. 5 tier 7s and 10 tier 6s. On airfield, he is spawned from the east side and headed over to the critical terrain. The critical terrain here is this heavy brawling area, or the brawling area where all of the important fight goes. So even though he's not a heavy and he's a tier down, he is relatively zippy. And he's going to try to get up onto this little promontory here, which has a very good controlling spot for controlling guys trying to push through here or shooting across to the middle. This map does have a viable option to go to the middle and can be used. There is sometimes a scrum down here, a face-to-face battle along here with TDs in the back, and then of course you've got the two TD camping spots. This TD camping spot especially, and to some extent the one where the E25 is, also helps control this middle area and how far the enemy can push through. This is going to be a bit of a factor here, so let's see what Thy does. He uses the speed of the Panther to get on up here. Keeps his turret towards the threat in case another fast, medium, or light tries to get through there, and then he's going to go hold down right on this spot, looking for any free damage, early damage that he can get. So the 25-2 sees him. That's going to be hard shot, and holy cow, he just bounced a Su-100Y. So thank goodness that guy wasn't shooting HE, or he would have stripped off some of your hit points right there, Thy. Thy's going to go back to this spot, and I'm a little bit conflicted about that. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to punish anyone who comes up and over that, and the slower heavies are going to do so. But at the same time, you can see that he's really exposing himself to those TDs up there. Now the good news for Thy is that he has a pretty strong turret, at least for this tier, and he's got that nice mantlet there. The bad news is that some of those TDs on the enemy team have plenty of pen to go through them. Now, for those last two shots, Thy, I probably would have pressed 2, and I'm facing an 0-1, so I'm going to need some more pen. More than likely, your standard pen is not going through that. If you're carrying 15, that's kind of what you're carrying it for. So think about that. And now we just really expose ourselves. In fact, our hull is a little exposed. It's a nice angle, so I'm not sure where you got hit, but holy cow. You just bounced another Su-100Y and the IKV. Yikes. Nice shot on the 64, so we're kind of working into this area. Also be careful about this spot here, Thy, because it is exposed to arty depending on where they position themselves. And wow, dude, now the IKV has only done a track damage to you. So I'm gonna say, man, you are very lucky you didn't lose 300 or 400, maybe more hit points right there. One thing to think about Su-100Ys and big caliber guns like that, if you happen to be bouncing them a couple times and you keep going back to that well, you can probably expect an HE derp to come in on your face. So just something to think about there. Now you're looking on the middle. Now when I came up there, if I were you and I'd come up where you were, I understand what you were trying to do, support your heavies and whatnot. I might have looked for a couple shots and then gone up to the middle, looked for a couple of cross shots, and let this fight over here develop a little bit before you go poking out. But as it is, you've done fine. And we're sort of waiting on what's going to happen. What's that IS going to do? Is he going to get crazy? You can see that the artillery's working on him, and now you kind of notice, holy cow, I got something going on behind me. In fact, there's an Easy 8 just trolling around in the middle. Let's go work on this dude. Unlucky bounce. You'll note that the Pudel reloads pretty quickly. I believe it's a 75mm that it's carrying right there. I don't know what this guy's doing. He must not actually see you. He must be far enough away from those bushes. You put a couple in there, and he's not going to survive this whole thing. And there goes the Easy 8. trolling around through the middle. Just driving up that ramp is never a good idea. In case you thought it was, it isn't. Holy cow, there's that guy. One shot, that's a bounce, and then nice choice to go up to the weak spot. I would have probably fixed my track right there, worried that someone was going to come around. It turns out to be a pretty good move on your part to not do it, except that you don't back up soon enough. So as soon as I came around that, let me get this paused. As soon as I came around that and shot that AC, I thought it was fine to stand in there and look for that shot on the weak spot, but right after that happened, I'd have backed out. And especially once I saw the IKV, I'd have kept backing up, because what you did is you backed up a little bit and then you started messing around trying to shoot the IKV and you got shot in the side by the AC. And that's a classic case of a loss of SA. You moved your SA from dealing with this AC 46 and then you went, holy cow, IKV 65, and the AC 46's shot lane on you fell out of your cross check. So you needed to be backing up. And this is probably one of the worst things you do right here. This is funny for me. So let me actually show the audience what's going on here. He's trying to line up the IKV with just his hull. Notice his turret is damaged, and he's trying to get the IKV online by just spinning his hull. Now you can do that, and I've done that myself, but it's easier when the tanks are much closer and much larger in regards to the size of the reticle right there. So he's going to have a hard time doing that, which brings me then to the point of you should have fixed your turret long, long ago. So take that snap on the AC and back up. If you had kept backing up, you might not have taken that smack in the side that broke your turret, and you'd have been dealing with the IKV. But say you did take the smack in the side of the turret, or in the side of the tank, which broke your turret, definitely burn that repair kit right now. So hit 5 and fix that turret. You are at a critical phase of the battle. Everything kind of hangs in the balance right at this moment, and oh my gosh, the guy's looking at you. You're very lucky he was busy worrying about someone who was pounding on him over there, or he'd have just lined you up and shot you long ago. And we notice there's a 100Y here. We're going to come down and just start piling shots into him. I might have actually, there you go. I think you were trying to go for the sprocket. Oh no, oh boy, is it the end? So the nice slow 100Y can't quite get there. Their TDs continue to move up and get aggressive. That's to their credit. Now we're going to move down here and try to figure it out. Again, fix the turret. I would fix the turret. Even with it just damaged, you're in a phase of the fight where that few degrees of difference might matter if you're trying to spin and shoot somebody before they get a shot off on you. The other thing with burning the repair kit a long time ago and fixing the turret completely is sometime around now you'd get your kit back. So there you burned it, but now you've got the 90 seconds to wait. And had you done it earlier at a more critical phase of the battle, it would be back to you right now. So now we're going to come down here. We got a E25 doing his thing. He's kind of getting beat up by the HT number 6. We got another tank on the right. Took a shot in there. Not really sure what happened there, if you hit him or not. Maybe you bounce him, not sure, but there you go. Now you take him down. And the artillery now is giving you its tender mercies and attention. This is pretty nice here for the JPZ-4. I like what you do here because you come up, you get past the rock. That's what was actually stopping you from seeing him. Put a shot into him. He's still lit. He's trying to fight somebody. He's tracked, it looks like. You hit him again. He's tracked, so what happens? You just blast it right in there, and there he goes. So for you guys who are trying to learn how to play, and he doesn't actually get to the artillery, so no reason to go on from here. For those of you trying to learn how to play, that's an important skill right there. The reason I knew it was tracked is when he highlighted it, I could see the broken track highlight. It's kind of a hard thing to see, and some of it's going to depend on whether your computer is that good a resolution, how big your screen is, other things like that, especially when you're looking through bushes at it. But if you can see it, it gives you SA to know that, you know what, he's tracked. Unless he actually fixes it and starts moving it pretty quickly, I probably am going to get another shot in on him, and that ended up killing that guy. So nice job there, Thy. Nice Pudel. Good example of the rate of fire. The okay armor in certain situations. All right, don't rely on it, but it does have some decent armor for a medium, especially at this kind of fight or this tier. And just a few things to think about as far as positioning, how to use this top area, and things like repairing important pieces like turrets and guns and whatnot when the game is hanging in the balance. All right, guys, I hope you learned something. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and we will see you.